Hey, these are the results of Jutland Open, which was last weekend. I attended, and yeah, I'll show you what happened. Just a sec, I'll bring up a little PowerPointy presentation thing. Here we go. So the result of Jutland Open 2025, by the way, this image here is of me and Jan Petersen playing on Andreas Rønne's very lovely city table with a dried out canal in the center. Really cool game, which we unfortunately drew, which meant that I was again struggling to catch up to the top table. The event itself was 1,250 points, 5 games, 3 hours of each game. We were 26 players, including very awesome Mike from Texas, who had flown over. As he said, whether or not I'd fly for 10 hours or drive for 2 days to get to a tournament in Pittsburgh, or, same to me. So he flew over from Texas to play in Denmark. Very cool. Lovely to have him, lovely to meet him. Also, Pim made a surprise appearance, and on the way there, he was WhatsApping with Manuel, and it was like, and Manuel said, you could pick me up in Düsseldorf, and Pim said, yep, I'll be there in an hour. And suddenly Manuel was going as well. So I walked into the venue, and I didn't know, but there was Manuel. I was like, what are you doing here? That was cool. The only thing that was really weird and wacky with this event was that we were playing true line of sight, which meant that you could see through ruins and houses, and you could shoot through windows and out other windows and stuff, and that was weird. that created some weird effects anyway. But it was fun. And here we have the two top players, El Clasico, as we've started calling it. Christian Lyngvad and Anders Midtgaard Madsen, who has now played each other 5 times in 2 tournaments. And they've drawn most of their games, but Anders is coming just slightly ahead in their matchups as well. Or have they drawn? I think Anders potentially is up in wins. Yeah. So the results are, the top 5 was Anders Midtgaard Madsen, who won 19 order dice mixed bag Germans. Christian Lyngvad came second, 17 order dice mixed bag Brits. I came third with my 17 order dice British mechanized assault Brits. And Lasse Lind, the Danish national champion, he came fourth with 17 order dice mixed bag Germans. Andreas Rønne clawed his way up the Swiss ladder with 14 order dice mixed bag Germans with a tiger. Again, some people, Andreas in particular, just make Death Stars work sometimes, right? My predictions were thus 80% accurate. I am back, baby. If I know the players, if I know the lists, I am 80% accurate at predicting who will win. I had predicted that Michael Eistrud or Søren Rulle would be in this top bracket. I had not predicted Andreas to be there. Michael Eistrud was for the longest time fighting about the top placements. In going into game 4, we were 6 people who were undefeated. Me, Michael Eistrud, Anders, Christian, Lasse, and Andreas. Right. And we were the only people who were undefeated, I think. So it was a very, very select few at the end. Unfortunately, Michael, he lost a game. I can't remember to whom, actually. But he did lose one, and that knocked him out of the runnings. So he was almost there. And Søren, unfortunately, had a rough weekend. His Soviets. He used to play Finns, and he's now switched to Soviets, and he is struggling a little bit with that. So he is not doing as well as I had predicted. As for the rest, pretty much as predicted. Unfortunately, I made a repeat of my last performance at the Danish Nationals, where I was just a little behind on kill points, so I could not claw my way into the top table for the final round. which meant that actually I did end up winning on Swiss if we had played Swiss, but we didn't. We were playing placement games for game number 5, so I only took third. Main takeaways. Mixed bag is good, especially German mixed bag. And mixed bag players who've played a lot of mixed bag, who knows how to use mixed bag, are doing well with it. Heavy tanks can work, sort of, if you're the right player, if you've got the right training, if you know what you're doing, heavy tanks can work. And we're seeing a lot of sort of tank hunters starting to appear in the meta in Denmark, at least. So people are now shifting a little bit towards anti-tank, because a lot of tanks are being brought, right? I find that my balance in my British list right now is really good. I've got 3 Crusaders. One of them is the Mark II, 2 of them are the Mark Is with the heavy autocannons, and they sort of work like my tank hunters. So I feel like I've got 2 tank hunters, even though it's just +3, but they're very likely to hit, right? So for most of my games, they were absolutely key. But we saw a lot of Chaffies, we saw RSOs, pack wagons. So a lot of tank hunters. Lees also appeared, Shermans with heavier guns, all of that. Mechanized, if you want your infantry to survive in such a meta as I've just described, you need a bit of mechanized. And a lot of people were bringing that, right? They were putting their infantry into Hanomag variants. They were putting them into white scout cars, different kinds of half tracks. Mechanized was everywhere, including some very, very cool Italian ones that could fit 20 people or something like that, and were completely enclosed, so not open topped. Extra cool. Soviets are still struggling a little bit. You could see my prediction had not included Manuel, and if I had known he would go, I would have included him in my top predictions, but he didn't finish top. And Manuel ran into me in game 4 in sectors, which is my favorite game of all time. I feel like I'm very good at sectors. My army is very good at sectors. He had actually played on the table before, but he had not. His army was not especially tuned towards sectors, and it was a new army that he didn't really know. And he had basically put his army list together in the drive to the venue with Pim, so he wasn't really sharp as I was, and I absolutely trashed him and knocked him down in the rankings. So now me and Manuel in our personal score are equals again, which I like. Personal reflections for me. This is the second time in a row that I only take 3rd place, which sucks a little bit, but the reflection I think is each time it's because I haven't had enough kill points to get me to the top table. Now, I think I need to take more kill points in the early games, which also means I need to take bigger risks in the early games, which, might not be good, but since kill points didn't really matter in many of those games, I think potentially I should have pushed harder to get kill points. Because being that close again and again and again and not getting to actually fight for the top placement, that I need to do that, right? And especially because by now I've never lost a game to Christian, although I have drawn against him and I have been very close to losing games to him, but I haven't lost a game to him, and I haven't actually gotten to play Anders Mikkel in any tournament games. I played him privately at home, won and lost to him, but I haven't played him in tournament games. So I really want to do that. So I need a tournament where I can place well and get to the top table and fight one of these guys. Because of course I think I can beat them, but it for me it also feels like the right matchup, right? It's where I need to be. So So those are my personal reflections. I also feel like this was more or less the last ride of the Valkyries for my Gurkhas. Their swan song. I don't think I'll take them to tournaments again, and possibly that it's the swan song of my Brits in general. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy the new British Army book. Looks like it's mechanized SMGs, and I'm not sure that is to my taste. We shall see. So we'll see what happens once this summer gets over and I get into a new tournament season. Mostly on my radar now is the World Open War, where I am the team captain for the Danish team, and that is my main focus at this point. Yeah. So that was it. Here we have me and Christian in our national team jerseys from last year's World Open War. Thank you so much, Jan P, Jan C, and Carsten, who were the TOs and helpers at the event. Jan P, I inadvertently said that he was TOing. He wasn't. He just had the loudest voice, so they had hired him in to do the voice things and to run the tournament app. But Jan C and Carsten, his brother, were the TOs and ran it, and also put up some very lovely tables. The one that me and Manuel played on had this U-boat in a harbor in one end. It was, oh my god, it was pretty. I loved that table. Didn't win best table though, which Andreas Rønne's canal table did. Very deservedly. Anywho, that was it from me, and I will see you next time. Cheers.